Lisa Rinna just called out Andy Cohen for publishing her private text messages in his memoir without fully explaining what he was doing, and the fallout reveals something much bigger about power dynamics in the Housewives universe. While Rinna says they're fine today, her reaction when she discovered those personal messages to her boss had been published for millions to read was brutal. Wow, wow, wow. The texts appeared in Cohen's 2023 book, The Daddy Diaries: The Year I Grew Up, and while he gave Rinna a vague heads up that she'd be featured, she had no idea her private communications would be printed. When reminded that Cohen warned her, Rinna explained she had an idea something was coming, but when she read it and saw they were personal text messages to basically her boss showing up in a book, her reaction was shock. Meaning this isn't just about text messages, it's about the fundamental power imbalance that exists when your friend is also your employer. Rinna later admitted on her podcast that interacting with Cohen triggers old habits where she falls back into a role, giving her power to Andy Cohen, who is her boss, almost like a little girl going back to the role she plays in her family. That's not a healthy dynamic, and it explains so much about why housewives' relationships with Andy often feel performative rather than genuine. Rinna didn't reach out to Cohen while writing her own memoir, You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It, which drops February 24th. Why would she? He published her private messages without explicit consent. She told people she doesn't know if everyone is ready for all of the truth she's unloading in this book. I'm noting that so much of life gets lost in the editing, and it was time to share the director's cut. Translation: Andy got his version out there, now she's getting hers. The timing of this revelation is fascinating because it connects to Rinna's toxic final season on RHOBH. She's been opening up about just how damaging that experience was, particularly season 12, which ended with her Kathy Hilton Aspen meltdown allegations, being booed at BravoCon 2022, and ultimately quitting the show. Rinna revealed she knew at BravoCon that the ride was over, saying the wheels on the bus just flew off and she couldn't contain or control herself, acting out in ways everyone saw, heard, and felt. But here's what makes her exit even more heartbreaking. Rinna admitted she should have quit during filming rather than at the reunion, much explaining that her mother had passed away and she should have taken a moment to grieve instead of doing that year, calling it a mistake because she was so messed up. She was a worker bee who felt contractually obligated to show up when she should have been processing the devastating loss of her mother, Lois Rinna. Rinna's husband, Harry Hamlin, told Andy Cohen during an October 2024 appearance on his show that he was thanking him from the bottom of his heart for his wife's last season because it was so terrifying for her. So horrible. Such an icky moment in her life that she had to say no. When your own husband describes your work experience as terrifying and horrible, that's not reality TV drama. That's a mental health crisis playing out on camera. Cohen himself wrote in his book that after filming the season 12 reunion in September 2022, producers questioned if there was a path forward for Rinna since she didn't resolve issues with Hilton, but she made the decision for them by sending a late-night text announcing she was quitting. He noted her exit was smart, but claimed weeks later she might have changed her mind based on correspondence with the team. Those are probably some of the texts he published. When Rinna finally quit, nobody fought to keep her. They basically told her to go have a meal and calm down, making it very mutual at the end of the day. After 8 years as one of the franchise's most polarizing figures, there was no battle to save her. The show proved it was bigger than any single housewife, even one as iconic as Rinna. The complicated relationship between Rinna and Cohen has always been layered. During her 8-season run, she was simultaneously a cast member and someone who had to navigate him as both friend and boss. Earlier this year at the Los Culturistas Culture Awards, they exchanged a friendly greeting on the red carpet, and Rinna apologized to Cohen for comparing RHOBH to the Titanic. That apology itself was telling. She felt she had to make amends for criticizing a show that nearly destroyed her mental health. Today, Rinna says she's still in touch with 4 former castmates: Erica Jane, Kyle Richards, Teddy Mellencamp, and Dorrit Kemsley. That's it. After 8 years on a show built around female friendships, only 4 genuine connections survived. She's in a much better place now, focusing on fashion, acting, and her Rinna beauty brand rather than the toxic Housewives universe. Since leaving Bravo, Rinna has thrived in ways nobody predicted. She's become a legitimate fashion industry player, walking couture campaigns in Paris and doing print campaigns for Marc Jacobs. She killed it on The Traitors. proving she's compelling television outside the Housewives formula. And now, with her memoir, she's taking complete control of her narrative for the first time. The real question is what exactly those text messages said and why Andy felt entitled to publish them. Were they about her exit? About other cast members? About production decisions? Rinna is teasing that readers will get her side of the story, saying, "Don't give it away, but you gotta read what happened." That suggests whatever Cohen published was either incomplete or missing crucial context that changes the entire story. This controversy highlights a bigger issue in the Bravo ecosystem: the blurred lines between friendship and employment when Andy Cohen is both executive producer and on-air personality. Housewives are encouraged to be authentic and vulnerable, sharing personal struggles and private moments. But when those same personal communications can be monetized in a best-selling book without full consent, where's the line? Rinna may say they're fine today, but publishing someone's private texts is a violation of trust that doesn't just disappear. Her memoir drops in 3 weeks, and you better believe she's going to talk about it.